Now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka.
Madam President, thank you for giving me the floor. Excellencies, distinguished delegates. It was the great Mahatma who said that a nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the souls of its people. My dear friends, we meet here today at the important juncture of the 25th anniversary of the historic resolution 53/243, whereby the Declaration of Program of Action of the Culture of Peace was adopted. This important milestone provides us the impetus to revisit the references made by the said resolution to the words of the UNESCO Constitution. Quote, "Since the wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed." And to reflect on what the world has achieved and how the world should create the roadmap for the coming years. Excellencies, today we are happy to be part of a process where the forward-looking follow-up to the Declaration and Program of Action on a Culture of Peace will be adopted in the General Assembly by consensus. As per the very rationale of this declaration and the Program of Action of the Culture of Peace, peace is not only the absence of conflict, it requires a positive, dynamic, participatory process whereby dialogue is encouraged and conflicts are resolved in a spirit of mutual understanding and cooperation. My dear friends, likewise, peace building requires a step beyond, beyond that to discourage all forms that create conflicts. Now, this includes setting up the socio-economic infrastructure that is necessary to manage conflicts peacefully, underpinning the economic development. Additionally, the peace builders should be able to manage the post-trauma carefully while strengthening the process of transnational justice and strengthening the civil society organizations. Madam President, the transition from a culture of war to a culture of peace requires the transformation of individual behavior as well as institutional practices. Learning to live in peace and in harmony is a long-term process and begins with the development of inner peace and the nurturing of peaceful citizens and nurturing attitudes that promote the expansion and the integration of peaceful principles. Education and awareness raising undoubtedly, Excellencies, play a key role in this process. Madam President, it is against this backdrop that we witness the proliferation of violence and spread of arms conflicts across the globe. Tragically, though, while the spillover impacts of the scourge of war are felt worldwide, the existing practices of discrimination and intolerance, including those based on race, color, sex, language, religion, political and other opinion, national or social origin, access to property, disability, birth or other statuses continue and have exacerbated with time with the impact of the pandemic which we witnessed a few years ago. Madam President, in the above context, my delegation firmly believes that the set of values, attitudes and traditions, modes of behavior and the ways of life conducive to the promotion of peace among individuals, groups and nations should be enshrined in our journey towards realizing our common goals. Excellencies, it was the then Secretary General Kofi Annan who said that we may have different religions, different languages, different colored skins, but we all belong to one human race. Excellencies, therefore, promoting a culture of peace involves addressing the root causes of conflict, promoting dialogue and reconciliation, and fostering sustainable development and cooperation. It emphasizes the importance of education, communication, and participation in building peaceful and inclusive societies. Madam President, my country has made several endeavors, and we had successful contributions from the established domestic and independent mechanisms that we have put in place. While successes are important, it is important to keep in mind that peace building is an ongoing process that has to be nurtured carefully to achieve the desired results. Madam President, the follow-up resolution that we adopt today at this Assembly, by consensus, should be, we say, a clarion call to encourage a culture of peace beyond borders. My delegation is ready to share our own experiences on this subject and strengthen and solidify what has been envisioned by the Declaration and the Program of Action of the Culture of Peace. We remain hopeful that follow-up action to the Declaration and Program of Action of the Culture of Peace would provide an impetus to realize our common aspirations during these turbulent times. Excellencies, may I leave you with the thought that respect for diversity is perhaps the most important fundamental principle of peace. I thank you, Madam President.
I thank the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka